So this is a 1992 Miata NA6, so it has a 1.6 in it. I bought the car from Quebec maybe about a month ago. I drove it about 6 hours back, and the head gasket decided to go because the temperature switch went. It caused the car to overheat while idle in traffic, and yeah, so that's a little up to date on the car. So we got ourselves a Mishimoto rad, some new rad hoses. I got some new clamps for when we do heater hoses and so on. So I'm not reusing the OEM clamps like the previous person did. So what I'm going to be doing for myself to be giving me better room, I'm going to start by removing the air box, so it gives me better access to the lower rad hoses. We'll drop the coolant, untwist the cap a little bit, and so it's not going to be blurping out, let's say. It's going to be a nice steady flow, so everything comes out at a quicker speed and so on. So to begin, we're going to start by removing this connector for your airflow, I'm guessing. So to remove this, there's going to be a little metal tang style clip that you don't want to get with a pick. Hey, there we go. So start off with that. Then we are going to move on with this gear clamp right here. Start by removing this. So you can remove it just like that. Then we're just going to bend this back, and then we might end up removing, honestly, the whole air intake in a few minutes, so we can actually take the rad out. 10 mil now with a extension that's longer than your man's. Here's the box, as simple as that. And to give us more access, I might end up removing this bracket so we can just pull it right out with no troubles whatsoever. Someone put a zip tie there in the past, so we're gonna cut that off and go from there. So as you guys can see, I like to start by removing air box. I go by connectors, I go by hose clamps before I start dropping coolant, because next thing I drop coolant, something snaps or goes from there, and it won't be a good time. So next thing is these hose clamps, like I said. So these two right here still connect to the airbox, so you don't have to worry about those. I'm guessing this one's a breather tube for the top valve cover. So we're gonna start by removing this guy. And as you guys can see, this end right here just slides into this little slot that gets held down by this gear clamp and this other rubber piece. We're good. There we go. Air intake's out. Alright, so next thing's next. We're going to continue by removing this little connector right here for the fan. We're going to remove this little overflow hose, and then we are going to drop the coolant from the lower rad hose. So just to let you guys know on what happened when the head gasket went, a little tip for you Miata guys. what went was this guy right here. So this guy right here controls the fan when it reaches temp, which is 207, I believe, Fahrenheit. And as soon as that reaches that, it should open up the thermostat and then go from there, turn the fan on, and it wasn't doing that. So as soon as we reached idle in traffic when we came back into our town, that's what caused the car to overheat and make the head gasket go. So that's one thing that it is preventative maintenance to replace that. So for this step, what you're going to do is slightly remove the rad cap. Make sure it's nice and open. As you can see, a little bit is dripping from the overflow. Make sure it's nice and open so when you drop the lower rad hose, it's going to end up flowing out nice and steady, and most of it will come out at the same time, so it's not going everywhere, making a blurp and so on. Alright, so next things next is the upper rad hose, which is still 2 OEM clips or clamps that someone decided to put back on. Because I slightly sanded that down so it have a nice mating surface with these rubber hoses when you clamp it on. So here's the upper rad hose. Alright, I got some bad news about those heater hose clamps. So the OEM clamps, I had to reuse them due to me not having the right, well, I have the right size new hose clamps. They're just perfect. They start, but they just keep on loosening. Like they're clamping on, but they just keep on loosening. So next thing is you're gonna have two 12mm bolts for the rad. Let's get this out of the way before that drops on. And the rad should just come right out. You will have fluid that leaks out, so make sure you have a bucket underneath. Just that. And as you can see, there's barely anything in there. So the next thing is removing these 4 bolts and taking this nice fan off, installing it on the new rad when we have it out of the box, and go from there. Alright, so the first hose we will be replacing is this guy right here. As I pointed out earlier, someone put a tie wrap there, so I have a few tools with me. I got So I ended up doing something a little different. I decided to end up cutting the hose because it's gonna be getting replaced anyways. So cut slits in it, it allows you to free it up, push it from side to side when it's on here. All right, so due to the battery dying, got a new battery, I'll charge it up. So we're gonna continue with this. So next thing on my list is these 4 bolts. So I got these 4 out. Leave them right there. Get the fan out. And that's pretty much that for the fan. So this is now the funnest part of all. It's opening up this box. This nice Mishimoto box. stuff out. Yeah, buddy. Oh yeah, that looks good. That looks good. Nice little Mishi cap, overflow. Yeah, that's that. Now we're gonna get on to moving some brackets over, and yeah. So for the rad, we ended up installing these rubber bushings. They have little metal plates on the rear of them. For the old rad, you pop a little on this side. You pop these metal clips out, and then once these are popped out, you're able to take this this rubber out with no problem whatsoever. Just put a little bit of lube or crown on it. Same thing for this one. And then these guys, they're just held in by these little clips right here. It's like a C-clip style. So that's what holds these little pins in and allows you to put them into the holders inside the car. But yeah, it's about that time to put her in. So so far, we got the lower rad hose installed, the two bolts up here to hold the rad in, fans on, just have to plug it in, and I'll show you guys what the lower rad hose looks like. They look real good. I got this fitting right here all tightened up just so that don't leak, so if you guys end up doing this yourself, make sure that's tight for sure. So pull back up here. Now, before we install this upper rad hose, we are going to be installing the air intake so this doesn't get in our way. So it's time for and then just push that down just like that, and then 10 mil. Put this one on as well. Like that, those are the two. Now it's time for that 10 mil. Matter of finding the 10 mil. And time for this upper rad hose. Click that right on. There we go. It is time for that 8 mil to get these hose clamps on all nice and snug. So that's on all nice and snug. Time for, that's on there. Make sure all your hose clamps are on. It's always good to double check. That's on. And I think it's the last piece of the puzzle now. It is time for, actually, to plug this girl right here in before I go any further. Don't want to forget that because I don't want to take out another head gasket. Two things in your hands. All right, so if you guys like that video, make sure you subscribe for more. Make sure to like the video, and I will see you guys in the next one.